I attempted suicide twice, and what happened was I was sent to Coventry, which meant that no one spoke to me. I was totally alone and isolated.
It's your career at the end of the day, and then you make a decision to leave because you're becoming a mum. But at the same time, you miss your purpose. It felt like a wrench. You've worked very hard to get there.
I served in the Royal Air Force. I signed up in 1999 and my entire family had been in the military, so it was just an automatic thing for me to do. I saw friends around me making bad choices, and I'd been in Air Cadets for years, so it was just a natural thing to go and try and do something with my life. And, you know, my service at the beginning was fantastic. I had the time of my life.
At the age of 17, I joined the Royal Navy Reserves. I was at HMS Salford, did the basic training at HMS Raleigh, and then Wrens at the time ceased to exist and were incorporated into the Royal Navy. Stayed for about 4 years, and then I later joined the Royal Navy full time. I really enjoyed it, loved it, met some characters, saw some places in the world that I wouldn't have necessarily gone to. You know, I've got some great stories, you know, really miss it.
About 11%, or 1 in 10 of the female veterans reported struggling currently with symptoms consistent with PTSD, traumatic stress disorder. And this is higher than we'd expect when compared to the male counterparts and the male veterans, where we expect about 7% of male veterans with current symptoms of PTSD, and higher again than we'd expect in the general public, which is around 4.5%.
Once I started having problems, I then saw that actually the relationships that I'd had weren't what I thought they had, that actually I wasn't as taken care of as I thought I had been, and you know, it became a really dark period of my life, probably the very worst time of my life. I went to my squadron leader, who just moved me into a different post I wasn't trained to do. I mean, the squadron that I moved to were really nice to me and didn't have that same opinion, but I thought that I'd been part of a family, and no one said to me mental health. No one said anything other than you need to get fit. If you go off this way, you'll never get a job in Civvy Street. You know, if you're medically discharged, you'll never get a job in Civvy Street. So no one really encouraged me to access support properly. They just coached me into what to say to get signed off to be well. You know, I'd attempted suicide twice, and then I stood on armed guard on a gate with a loaded weapon. You know, that could have been catastrophic. I wasn't well, and I didn't understand that I wasn't well, and no one told me that that's what it could be.
I'd got married, I had our first child. Things were a little bit different then. I couldn't stay on board the ship. Back in 2001, there wasn't the same support as there is today to be, you know, a mum and stay in the forces. It was difficult. It was like cut all ties, that was it. Although I'd still kept in touch with the, you know, my friends that I've made. I'm still in touch today with those people that I serve with. It was difficult because you're out of the Navy now. But the day that I went to sick bay, obviously I was off the ship the same day, and it just felt like they'd just picked me up and gone. Yeah, that was quite tough. People can be very judgmental. I'd like to see people not judge other people and say, oh, she's in a mood, but you don't know what's happened. You don't know the chain of events that's led to that. Sometimes it's been hard to be resilient with you know, the sheer traumas that you have to deal with every day.
Go to your doctors, let them know that you're a veteran, let them know that you need a different pathway, and ask for that appropriate treatment. Please step forward into your truth. Please come to see us at Combat Stress if your needs are complex mental health. You know, there are other services if they are not, you know, and they want to help you, and usually there's another veteran that totally gets it and totally understands, and you will be treated with care and dignity and respect, and actually what you might find is a little community that can become your own and maybe remind you of a happier time of your service.